with, Rockaway put a lot of thought into this, and this is the reason these two guys are here. Like, I'll be over the HOA part of it, and as far as this moving forward, it's these guys. So we don't cross over. I think Carol kind of touched on all that, but just to let y'all know again that this is how we're going to set it up, and they will be over this.
And who are you?
I'm Mark. Smaller.
Your role is what?
I'm over the HO, all the property right now. Like, for.
Mark's our new Jamie. So Mark took Jamie's spot. So he'll be our new contact and our main operator for Artisan Lakes.
Yeah. And so maybe we'll move into a little bit of a deeper introduction since most of you guys probably haven't met us before. So Neal is our residential account manager. So we maintain over 100 residential homes throughout Duval and St. Johns County. He took this position over from me a few months ago. Neal has been in the industry for 30 or so years.
25 years.
Yep, give or take. A lot of that time has been spent in agronomics, so turf fertilization, pest control. He's a certified pest control operator, which is a very high certification through the state, and it gives him a lot of knowledge in terms of our warm weather turf here in Florida and things that can go well and things that can go bad with it. Myself, some of you may have remembered when we first began our contract with the HOA, I was in control of that, in charge of it. Jamie took over for me. I'm now a business manager at Rockaway, so my role is to look at processes, develop those, as well as kind of manage the business, so-called a business manager. Mark came to us. He is now in charge of the HOA contract, representative of Rockaway, making sure that the HOA property, all the common areas are well maintained up to our standards. So I think that's a little bit of a deeper introduction. Any questions so far? Yes?
All right, I'm still a little confused about what is the HOA's responsibility
Okay.
and what is the homeowner's responsibility.
Okay.
Because we all pay, a monthly fee, and
Sure.
for that we get something.
Right.
Right. Okay. Let's say 0 is dirt and 10 is the most beautiful St. Augustine lawn you've ever seen.
Okay.
Right. What should your HOA dues get you in that scale of lawn appearance?
Okay.
Like a 5? It's
I
not gonna get you a 10, I know that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you can really equate something like that. It's not like you're buying a product necessarily, it's a service, right? And so things can go well and can go wrong, especially in a world of living things where, things just happen.
I get that, but, let's say I consider my lawn a 5.
Okay,
Okay, and I'm okay with that,
sure.
but I'd like to have a credit.
Okay.
So I want to sign up for aeration.
Okay.
What's my number going to be after aeration? Is it going to be a 7? I mean, do I get that kind of improvement? Or is it still going to pretty much look like a 5, but it's going to be healthy?
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily put a grade on it. I would say that there's a really good possibility that you're going to see improvement, but I will not guarantee anything.
All right. Plus, in addition to the aeration, you're going to have quality assurance.
Yes.
Which is, someone take a look at it and make recommendations.
Yeah.
Like more fertilizer or
Drainage
whatever,
solutions,
drainage.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that should also bring another level of improvement, I would think. Unless my lawn is just so good, you can't find anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, absolutely.
Again, that's what I'm looking for.
Sure.
I'm looking to elevate my lawn above what it's been.
Yeah.
And happy to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But just, I guess one question is, under my HOA dues, why isn't aeration included? If aeration is something the lawn needs, why aren't we doing it to everybody's lawn?
Yeah, honestly, I've been in the industry for a long time as well as these guys. I've never seen aeration as part of a contract. Okay. There may be a rare instance here and there where a HOA or some kind of governing body says, hey, we'd like you to include aeration in your agronomics program. In terms of industry wide, especially in our area, not common at all. Okay. So it's, is it necessary? I wouldn't say it's, vital.
Will you want a 5, right?
But
if you want an 8, you probably have to do it.
you look at things like aeration, and we don't dethatch in Florida much, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about
services
dethatch.
like that are like unneeded benefits. You don't have to get an aeration for your lawn to be able to be healthy. Does it help? Absolutely, right? So most programs, whether I worked for Purcell and Meyer at the beach for 10 years, I'm from Orlando, I did agronomics my whole life. No one ever includes aeration because it's not necessary for your lawn to survive, okay? You also, like,
I understand that, but survival wasn't kind of what I had in mind when
I get it,
you know,
I get it.
ended up for my
Sure.
HOA dues.
Yeah, and in terms of your HOA dues, I will try and speak as closely as I can without, you know, being on the board necessarily. But what your HOA dues are paying for is the maintenance of the turf, right? So we're coming in, we're cutting the grass, we're edging the beds, doing all those things. We are putting down fertilization, we're putting down pest control, all those things. You know, inside of whether it's an Artisan Lakes contract, a residential contract, even with us putting down, say, a pesticide, we can't necessarily always guarantee that you're not going to get chinch bugs or armyworms or some kind of a fungal disease that's going to do damage to your turf. It's not a, you know, we're not putting a blanket over your yard and saying that nothing can get in it. We're just doing what we can with the products that are available to us to alleviate those issues as much as possible.
Okay,
Let them go on with their presentation and do their
Yeah.
presentation before we start asking.
You're good. Yeah, and we can do more Q&A at the end. We'll stay here for as long as you guys want.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll just run through it real quick. What we've developed is 3 different kind of ways that you can go about this. So we have a full package, including aeration and then quarterly irrigation inspections, so 4 times a year. You can also have these services individually. So you can get a one-time aeration, or you can get the package of the irrigation services. We'll do that 4 times a year as well. So everything included, just an aeration or just irrigation. Those are the 3 kind of options. Basically, once we get done today, what you're seeing will be live. You will receive a link in your email that you can click. It'll take you to this page. And from here, you can look at a little bit more information, which I'll go over in a second, as well as sign up and have us reach out to you and get you going on the service. So once you get that link, you click on it, you come to this landing page. There's going to be right here, kind of in the middle, it's going to say click here to view offer details. So when you click on this, it's going to pull up this PDF. We do have a couple of these in print form if you guys would like to take one, and it's also going to be available digitally. So the first one is what we're calling our Premier Package. So that is everything included. 2 aerations for the year, a spring and a fall, as well as the 4 quarterly irrigation inspections. It gives you kind of a high-level overview of what that entails, as well as payment for that. So it's $9.95 if you want to pay in full for the year for the service, or if you want to be billed monthly, it's about $95 a month. It's going to include the 4 inspections. If you do have any issues, a break in your system, you're going to get kind of priority access to one of our techs to run out here and take care of that for you. We're also going to be in this package specifically warranting your turf on your property. So basically what we're saying is that if we're able to come out, do the 2 aerations in the spring and fall, as well as have a tech come out quarterly and check your irrigation, we're going to warranty your turf. So if you do,
If we don't rake,
sorry,
if we don't rake, you still gonna warranty it?
rake like
The
leaves?
dead grass and stuff?
Like Neal said, thatching we really don't find necessary in Florida.
Right into it.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, no, thatch usually isn't much of a problem. I mean, I've seen maybe a handful of properties in my life that had a thatch problem. Yeah, it's not very common in St. Augustine turf. So like I said, the 2 aerations, the spring and the fall. The aeration, we core aerate. So basically we have a machine that comes through and it takes little cores out of the ground and creates small holes. It allows air to penetrate, which is great for the roots, as well as allows water and nutrient to get more into that root zone layer and be uptook a little more effectively. Along with the core aeration, we do a soil revive program. It's a mixture of nutrient and products. Neal, actually, if you want to speak a little bit more, you can probably do a little better with that than I can.
So the mix that you get with the aeration treatment is formulated micronutrient package along with a product called Soil Revive.
Just speak up.
So the mix that you get with your aeration package is a micronutrient package along with a product called Soil Revive, which is biologicals and other nutrients that kind of keep your soil from being stagnant. It allows for free motion through the soil of nutrients and pesticides, and pretty much just makes the treatments more effective. That's what it does. It's octane.
Liquid?
It's liquid. It's like high octane for your horticulture.
So thank you. And I think that that's really important, and we do it on a lot of our residential properties, and we have really great success. You know, I was speaking with a couple of ladies before our meeting, and they were asking, and the explanation I gave to them, you know, why do we have so many problems with our turf? And it's not necessarily just an Artisan Lakes problem; it's a Nocatee problem. So if you drive down the road and you look into the wood line, you can tell that you're on a much higher elevation than everything surrounding you. So what they've done is every retention pond that you see, all the dirt they dug out, that's what all of our property is sitting on. Which is fine for about the first maybe 5 feet in Florida. You get fairly good dirt, you get good sand, things you kind of want. Once you get deeper than that, you start hitting, we have a really bad clay layer here in Florida. It's not nice Georgia red clay. It's a really gray, slimy clay that, you know, really is not porous. It doesn't let anything penetrate it. So that is one factor of why we can have a lot of turf issues here in the Nocatee area. And the Soil Revive, that product specifically, kind of, I don't want to say bypasses, but certainly helps our product get through those poor layers of soil and allows the roots of the turf to uptake that nutrient. We're also going to have a quality assurance visit. We call it a QA visit. Neal will be conducting these. We do all of these on our residential properties. We do them 3 times a year. That's a part of our residential contracts outside the area. Basically, he's going to come through. He's going to be not only looking at the turf, he's going to look at your shrubs. He's also going to be looking for solutions that could help, like drainage. I know that there are definitely some drainage issues here. Maybe we don't have good swales in between houses that allow water to kind of move front to back, you know, as well as, you know, maybe we have a downspout that's hitting right on a bush. That bush is going to die at some point in time. So he's going to be looking for all those things, recommending solutions, you know, that if you guys want to move forward with those, you most certainly can. So that's kind of our all-inclusive, you get everything package. Then as you move down, you get into a singular aeration treatment. That's going to be $399 each time. This is just a one treatment. We recommend doing it in the spring and fall. You can really do it a number of times. We've done it up to 3 and 4 times on residential properties that are really struggling, and it can really have a good turnaround once you start breaking up soil layers and putting in nutrients that are actually able to get into the turf itself. I won't read through all the great benefits. We'd be here forever. But basically, like I said, it's the aeration treatments, $399 for the year there. Then you move into the irrigation membership service. So this is solely the irrigation quarterly inspections. 4 times a year. It's going to cost $540 for the year, or if you'd like to be billed monthly, it's right at $50. It is going to be one of our irrigation techs. He's going to come through. He's going to check the entire system. He's looking for coverage. He's going to adjust nozzles to make sure that you're getting that coverage. He's looking for deficiencies in the coverage, you know, to make sure that maybe we'll need to add a head or that we're getting too much coverage and we need to actually take one away. He'll also be adjusting your clock seasonally, so less water in the winter, more water in the summer, all those good things. In a nutshell, that's kind of it. At the bottom, you are going to receive some sign-up information, and I'll talk here for a minute kind of about that flow and how it works. So, you know, besides kind of creating this, the other thing that we really like to be prepared for is a process. So there is a really great process. Basically, you're going to sign up through the website. It's going to come to us in email form. Usually Sheena is going to get it, but also myself and Neal get those emails too. You're going to put most of your information in there: name, address, phone number, email, what service you like, how you'd like to pay for it. So we're going to pretty much know kind of what we're dealing with before we reach out to you guys. But at that point in time, reach out, say, hey, go ahead. Neal is going to create this contract. He's going to shoot it over to you. Once you feel good about it, you go ahead and sign, send it back. If you are going to pay for the year in full, we'll send you over a quick payment portal option that's going to allow you to go ahead and make payment on the contract, and then we're going to get going immediately. That's all right there. I will say that we are putting a deadline on this to sign up. It's going to be March 8th. The main reason why is that you know, we can't really like start doing it now and then continue to do it in April and May and June. It's just going to get a little too complicated trying to figure out the kind of cyclical nature of some of these things and try and get everyone's services all done. It's going to be at different times. It's going to be a much easier process if we have, you know, just put that deadline on it. So March 8th is going to be the deadline to sign up for this. At the bottom, you're going to see a sample contract and what it looks like. The one that we've put in is for that Premier package, including everything, breaks everything down, goes into some detail. You're also going to find the terms and conditions of the contract. So we want to be very transparent and let you guys know what it does and doesn't cover. And at that point in time, you're pretty much done. So what I would say is that, you know, Neal, if you don't have anything further, I think we can open it up for
Carol
some.
has a
Carol,
question.
yes.
Can you go over the requirement for the rain sensor?
Okay, sure. In terms of like the legality of it.
You have to have a
Yeah.
working one, and when
Absolutely.
you don't have
For anyone who's kind of maybe not aware of some irrigation terminology, it's basically a device that's attached to your irrigation clock, and it measures rain. So every time it rains, it's got like a really small little sensor, and once it fills up to a certain point, it will actually shut your clock off so that you do not water until it dries back out. So say like this past weekend, did you guys get like 1.5 inches of rain? So your irrigation would not have run after that until that sensor dried out. It is really important because say you do get 1.5 inches of rain and then you're irrigating the next day, you're putting a big water load onto your property. Can create issues, certainly in terms of fungal issues in the turf, you know, and in general, St. Augustine does not like to be wet for too long. You can get a kind of a myriad of diseases that can develop from that. In St. Johns County and in Duval, there is actually some regulations that say that you do have to have a working rain sensor on your system. There is a system in place to actually fine you for it. I've never seen it actually enforced and don't think it ever would be. But you know, it is a really important component of your irrigation system. And that's something that through the inspection, we're gonna look at every time. Make sure that it's functioning, and if it's not, we're gonna give you a few different options to put one on. Yeah?
Ours was never connected.
No,
Oh,
ours is connected.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
Okay,
It's never worked.
interesting.
The other irrigation systems companies we've had,
Okay.
take a look at our system, say none of them work. It's a bogus product. Now, and it looks like a bogus product. When you look at
Okay.
it, there's no real way it's gonna turn your sprinkler on off. And we turn our sprinkler on and off.
Right.
Because of, you know, for the same reasons you gave.
Gotcha.
We do it manually.
Okay,
And so I prefer just to keep doing it that way unless you can supply me with a rain sensor that will actually really work.
yeah. So, and that's a really good.
Second that motion.
I do the same, mine doesn't work. I actually moved my water box inside,
Sure.
because my sprinklers were going off, and it was pouring out.
Yep, yep.
And the guy told me that he believes when they built the house,
Mm-hmm.
they probably cut it,
More than likely. And this is something that unfortunately, and this is a really good point, you see it very, very often. On new construction, I would say that a vast majority of new construction that I've looked at the irrigation system, the rain sensor does not work. And it's because of a poor installation.
So every time they prune the bushes, they knock it over.
And that's another problem with installation. So it's not supposed to be on a piece of PVC in your yard. It's actually supposed to be attached to your rain gutter.
Oh, no.
Up high.
I didn't do that to any of
Yep,
us.
I know. And it's, we don't install irrigation on new builds. And certainly if we got into that business, we never would because it is an improper practice.
So
But
would
so
you
what
install
is your plan for it then? Are you gonna reinstall everybody's rain sensors?
If we do an
Charge everybody $500 to do it?
I couldn't speak to the cost of what it would be, but if we do an inspection on your house and we do find a rain sensor that's not functioning, we are going to give you a price to replace it if you'd like.
And you have to.
Yeah, I think it's important maybe for us to evaluate this, for you to
Certainly.
come up with what it's going to take
Yeah.
for you to implement this, because I think everyone has a rain sensor that doesn't work.
Okay.
We were
You know,
even
so
told
we
that new
should-
systems.
We should know what we're getting into on this.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can't speak to anyone's individual system. I haven't checked them, but through that inspection, whatever they find, they're going to list on a report and give you a price to fix it if
Neal,
it needs
can
it.
you come up with some, a solution, a sensor that, identify a sensor that you think is gonna work?
I know
with
sensors that do work, but.
How much they're gonna
Like, I
cost?
can't stand here and say, every single one of you is gonna need to pay me $1,000. Because, maybe no one in here has a rain sensor that works, right?
Yeah.
We'll say that. He might have 5 broken rotors, he might have 2 whole mid zones that don't work. His whole system might be broken. There's no way that I can stand here and say the first time the irrigation guy comes to your house, it's gonna cost you $1,000. I can't say that.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I think everyone's got the PVC
I understand.
tube that doesn't work.
Sure.
So everyone's gonna have a wire that's gonna go up to the gutter to a system that works. I mean, there's some solution that you're gonna settle on that works, and shouldn't we know? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing that we can do is what we know is right. So like I said, we're gonna come and do the inspection. If you do have a rain sensor in that position, the tech is probably gonna say, hey, I think it'd be a really good idea to move this rain sensor into a place where it's gonna function better. And that's where we stop. We can't say you have to do it. It's something that, you would have to think about and say, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to pay the money.
It's not a precondition.
Well, you said you won't warranty it if we don't have a working rain sensor.
The turf itself.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that part of the package? We have to have a working rain sensor?
So I would say that, yeah, a working rain sensor in the right place, I wouldn't be as concerned about, but a working one would be ideal.
Is it a requirement?
Yeah.
What if I want to keep turning it on and off myself? Are you still going to warranty my turf?
I think that it's a little situational.
I'll pay you $500 to give me a working rain sensor. I defy you to supply me with a working rain sensor.
In the right spot.
In the right spot. Go ahead and do it. That's I'm tired of going out and turning it on and off.
I've been out there at 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
So
turning on or off.
I would love that. But
So
I don't know if it exists.
Yeah, so the situational kind of problem that we're getting into is, say for instance, you are manually turning on and off your irrigation. So say it is mid-July, it's 95 degrees during the day and it's 70 degrees at night. So we're not really having a lot of cooling. We get a really big tropical downstorm one afternoon, we get 2 inches of rain, you say, I'm gonna go turn off my irrigation system. Life happens, you forget for a few days, your turf dries out within 12 to 18 hours. So at that point in time, a day passes, 2 days pass, your turf is completely dry and chinch bugs decide to move in.
I'm good. I mean, if you supply me with a rain sensor and I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
It works
Yeah.
better than what I've been doing.
Sure.
Then I'm happy to do that. 'cause
And
it's
then I would
frustrating
have
for me.
no problem replacing your turf.
Okay.
Sometimes on these rain sensors, they may work. They're either under a gutter, behind a shrub, under a tree.
Right.
Plants get bigger, so it could be part of the problem is where they're at. Like Nick's saying, the best spot is on top of your gutter.
And when you look at, and when you get a rain sensor, the package from a supplier, and you open it up and they have installation instructions, they tell you one place to put it, and it is on a gutter or a roof line, a ridge line. Yeah. So, yeah, it blows my mind that they get away with installing them like that. I'm not sure if home inspectors aren't aware or if they just don't care. Maybe a little bit of both.
You see all those purple poles?
Yeah.
In everyone's bushes.
And it's in every community. It's everywhere. It's the easy thing to do, you know?
Either that or they're lying on the ground.
Yeah, or lying on the ground. Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask a question about the aeration.
Okay.
Because my rain sensor worked, but, anyway, we have a problem with, I don't know how deeply my Comcast cable
Yeah.
is buried.
Yeah.
I have a lot of irrigation close to the surface. How does the aeration system deal with that?
You know, I'll be honest with you, there's not much we can do. So our aerator takes about a 2-inch core. Would you say about a 2-inch core?
Yeah.
So we're only going down a couple inches in the turf. However, I have seen Comcast cables that are directly under laid sod. So you're talking about 0 inches under the turf. You know, I'll be honest, in our terms and conditions, that's something we cannot account for. And if during that service we break your line, there's really not a whole lot we could have done beforehand and not a lot we can do after.
Okay, well, I just wanted to know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the irrigation?
As far as your irrigation goes, we come out and we mark off your heads. That way when he runs the machine through, he's not running over all your heads and breaking the system.
But if you do break it, do you replace it?
Absolutely.
A head, yes. A pipe, no, because we can't see that. So, you know, an irrigation head, when we turn the system on before we aerate, we can see that head, we can flag it. If you do have a shallow pipe, we would have no idea that it's there.
But if you run over a head, you could push it down and snap the pipe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if we do that, we'll fix it. Yeah, absolutely. That's on us.
Do you aerate right up to the foundation in areas where the grass goes up to the building, or do you just aerate in?
It's about a foot away.
Yeah, we're going to stay off the foundation with our machine.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
do you do close to the building, or do you just do?
About 12 inches off the building, usually.
So you, okay.
Yeah, we get close. Yeah, as close as we feel safe. Yes, sir.
I'm presuming that you're recommending the Premier package.
So there is a cost savings to getting the Premier package, you know, and it's great to have an irrigation inspection. It's good to have an aeration. Is you know, one better than the other? No. Are the two combined really good? Yes.
Are you going to get, depending on how many sign up for this, are you going to get more people on your crew to handle this neighborhood, or are you going to?
I have people lined up already
Okay.
to come in and do the services.
Okay, my next question is, because we are already paying for weed killing and bug service and things like that, are you standing behind what we already are getting? If we have an issue with it, that you're gonna come out and take, you know, see our problem? Or are we going to have to sign up for this to get extra attention?
I think that's part of it, right? So this is outside of your HOA contract. This is a contract between Rockaway and you as a
I
homeowner.
understand
Okay.
that, but what I'm asking is,
Yeah.
are you going to guarantee what you're putting down just with what we're paying to our HOA?
So kind of, I'll jump on. One of the things we're talking about is irrigation. When the irrigation is,
I understand
but-
the irrigation issue.
but I was gonna say, if you don't have it on enough, you'll end up getting more insects. But as far as the product, we can put it down. But if we're not over the irrigation, does that make sense to you? You're not getting adequate.
I had somebody tell me that the ruts in my yard were caused by cinch bugs. I know bugs don't eat in a line. That problem was because you mow in the same direction. So I kind of just listen and end up taking care of it myself. But I just, because I'm already paying you for issues, I wondered if I find something that's going on, are you gonna come out and just say, well, you don't irrigate properly, we're not gonna bother with you?
Ooh, that's,
Yeah, how's that?
oh, it's kind of a negative way to look at it, if I'm being quite honest.
Well, I've had a lot of negative problems.
Yeah, well, and I apologize for that.
It's not always your problem either.
It's kind of my problem. It's all of our problem, right? Just like I was speaking with a lady who's had an issue with some services that we gave her, and I'll be honest with you, I was unaware of it. And so, what I did is that I took her name and her number and her address, and I'm going to reach out to her afterwards. And, we're going to make right what we can make right. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm just trying to make everything a little bit better for you. If we get one person, if we get 198, that's totally fine with me. I'm not in this industry. I don't own this business. I have no stake. I don't make a commission on any of this, right? So, we've developed this to try and bring a better service to you as a homeowner and something that's, outside of your regular HOA contract. If you do have this service and you have an issue and you reach out to Neal, he's going to come talk to you, and he's going to be very honest with you, and he's going to give you a solution that makes sense to you and is going to fix the problem. That I will guarantee that. Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Scott Logan.
Nice to meet you.
We just moved in October.
Okay.
So I'd like to just a basic question answered as to what services you give us under the HOA contract.
Yeah, definitely kind of maintains all the common areas as well as all the houses. So that includes mowing your turf, edging, all of the hard surfaces, the concrete, the beds. We trim some shrubs, not all shrubs. There is a foundational shrub, that we've kind of termed. And I don't know the exact ARC guidelines. That would be a Carol question in terms of what is and isn't covered. But we also do fertilization and pest control of the turf and the shrubs. That's in the common areas and on the houses. And then we perform irrigation inspections on the common area system. Thank you. Yeah.
So if I put down fertilizer myself, that could cause a problem with what you already...
Absolutely. It could cause a problem. Yeah.
It wouldn't make any difference to dethatch or rake the lawn out?
You can dethatch, but it's really not necessary. You have to have, for the most part, and Neal can correct me if I'm wrong, you really have to have an inch or more of thatch before you really start having a penetration problem. Because that's the issue with thatch, right? Is if you build up all this dead material, water and nutrient are not getting through that into the soil and into the root layer, and that's where it creates an issue.
Yeah, it's a different type of grass that I'm used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand it. Looks like little feeder roots or whatever.
Yep.
You're not supposed to remove those.
No, yes,
that's actually the grass that's...
It is. It is the turf itself, yeah.
Is this called like a zoysia grass?
Nope, this is, for the most part, St. Augustine. St. Augustine turf, yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna say there are a lot of people with dogs. Are all these chemicals safe?
Absolutely.
A lot of people watch dogs.
Absolutely.
Okay,
It's always safe for you.
yeah.
that's what I figured.
And just like,
When we come in and do applications, you'll see Brian, the guys that put signs out.
Yeah,
You usually want to stay off until it's dry.
that's what they've always said.
Yeah.
Once it's dry,
That's
you
it.
can.
Yeah.
Safe.
yeah, if it's wet, you probably don't want it on you, but once it's dry, it's pretty inert to you. Yeah.
Well, I'm more worried about the corgis. So.
Yeah.
Short little lips.
We haven't used harmful products in over 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we sign up for this, it's good March to March, is that?
Correct. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So you would receive an irrigation inspection, within, I'd say, a week to 10 days of signing up for the service, and the aeration should be kind of right, and the first aeration should be right in line with that. Yeah.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
My water box for the sprinklers is in my garage.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to move it back outside.
Sure.
So, that's a problem.
We really always prefer to have it outside. It's easy for us. It's easy for you. You don't have to be there. We will ask you to provide a garage code so that we can access it, just in case you're not available.
Because I really didn't know how to work my box. Really,
Yeah.
So I've learned that.
Yeah, we just, as part of the service, we really like to have control. Because then if there's an issue, it's on us, it's not on you.
Would you let me know when you're coming?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'll definitely be scheduled.
Oh,
You'll
okay,
know a
that's
time.
fine.
Yeah. It'll be like Comcast. We'll be there between 8 and 9.
Oh, that's another quick question. I know you said that if the cable got
Mm-hmm.
cut, that's on us. Do you have any idea or how I would find out where my cable runs so I could mark it? So it doesn't get cut, because that could be a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Comcast would come out and like
I don't have Comcast.
detect. Yeah, I don't know if they'll locate it for you. Does 811? You could call 811, which is the basically like call before you dig, and they could locate your cable for you. That does cost. You would have to pay for that, but they would come out and locate your cable for you. But they wouldn't be able to tell you how deep it is, I don't think. But they could tell you where it runs.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, like what you'd be getting during your first initial one through the service, you know, running through the system, looking for coverage issues, doing your clock.
Because I'm not even sure how often this irrigation system should come on.
Yeah.
Or when, and I look in the box and I see like some kind of a yellow jacket nest in there, so I don't know if the big one.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah.
So I would have to contact you and then somebody would come out for $160 and evaluate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So did it go up in the last week? I paid 150
For an irrigation inspection,
Yeah.
we did slightly raise irrigation prices this past year.
last week.
Let's talk afterwards so that I can get your information, and then I'm gonna have someone reach out to you right when we're done. Because that's obviously, that's a breakdown in our process. And so, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get your information and we'll take care of that. Yeah.
The point I'm making is, I'm not critical.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that if you sign up for this package.
Yeah.
And I think you have assured us that you will be able to respond quickly, very quickly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good to see you.
You were the first person I had the privilege of dealing with Rockaway a little over a year ago when I moved in.
Yeah.
I'll try to make this very quick.
You're good.
You were spectacular. You were responsive, you were helpful, and then you were going.
Yeah.
And it, quite honestly, took a good dive after you left.
Yeah.
One of the, to this gentleman's point, one of the great things that we wanted to buy in here as opposed to Del Webb is because it was uniform. All the yards look good at the same time, whereas they take care of their own yards. A couple questions.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the irrigation membership service and having you come out and look it over for $160 or whatever it is?
There is a cost savings.
Okay.
Yeah, doing the quarterly.
And you basically come out and say, this is what's wrong, this is what it's gonna cost.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so.
As well as like doing the small adjustments and those kinds of things. But yeah.
I see these three beautiful words here, all turf warranted.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that if you do that premier package and we're doing the aerations twice a year and the quarterly irrigation inspections, and we have control of all that, that if you have turf die off, we're going to replace it.
Okay. And I, from my previous residence, I know that the aeration is necessary, obviously. At this point, it's necessary to keep my weeds moving.
Okay.
But that's the problem. Over this last year, it's, you know, and I have the irrigation thing that comes on 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I water it, and I try to water other places that don't get it.
Okay.
I don't think my personal irrigation system is very effective.
Okay.
The other thing on the aeration, do you do everything, including the common areas in the back? Or what is included?
You know, we're like if you live, say, on Hatter and you live on the lake bank, we're not going to do the lake bank.
Okay, I live on Hatter but not on the lake.
Yeah.
And there's a common area behind it.
We're going to bleed into it a little bit. You know, I don't think that we're going to go, say that if you like back up to a park, we're not going to go to like the bed line of that park necessarily.
It only goes about 5 feet past where my pavers are.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some bleed over into that common area, but we're not necessarily looking to you know, aerate that entire
Also,
area.
this gentleman's point, again, for the entire community to have a consistency of good yards,
Yeah.
I agree that everybody would need to do that. But I also think, and I've done some research on this, that this aeration that you're proposing is highly overpriced.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
Sure.
I appreciate you, and I worked with Jamie the whole time.
Yeah.
But I checked around other companies, And for them to come out and do my own yard alone, whereas you guys would be doing multiple lawns at the same time.
Yep.
It's half the cost.
Yep.
I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah, definitely. No, and I appreciate that. And I'll speak from personal experience. So I have friends who work in other pest control specific companies. It's the only thing they do. Turf fertilization, pest control, termites, those kinds of things. And several of them that I've spoken to have at one point in time offered aeration and have cut the service out because they were inexpensive and they either found that it wasn't making them enough money and it wasn't worth their time and heartache, or they just didn't have enough of a base. So
Aeration price possibly differ if a number of people, however many people it would take. Because you guys come out here, you've got the equipment, you're out here. It's not like, you're having to come out for each individual house. You're out here to do it.
yeah. So it's
I can speak to that.
sure. Yeah.
I do, I'm a landscape liaison, and we do meet with Rockaway, Greg and Brian, the owners, every 30 days. And Ed Udall with me last week to the meeting, and we did ask Greg if we did get enough people, could they cut the price? And Greg said, yes, we would have to look at the numbers. The other thing that we talked about, and this isn't fair to them because I know that Greg hasn't told them because he's offered us to make it mathematics.
Oh boy.
If it's successful and if people are happy, they could offer this program again in the fall so that you would have it, half of the community in 6 months and the other half in 6 months, and then they would roll together. So it's something new, and it's just this is just the beginning.
So you have to make our lawns look fabulous.
So our neighbors will be jealous. And they will sign up later.
There you
And
go.
then everybody will.
I don't know. From what I hear, you guys need to talk to Carol about getting the whole community done.
Well, I think that point was well made. That
Yeah.
we should do the whole community.
Yeah, and
What I asked you in the beginning is why aren't we doing it? And it's a cost, obviously.
it would be.
If our HO fees were higher, we paid you guys more, you'd be happily aerating everything, right?
So I'll answer the cost issue it is an HOA, that is an HOA issue. Right now you pay $132 a month for the Rockaway service that you're getting. Rockaway did offer an irrigation plan for the residential homeowner, no aeration, just irrigation inspection. The board at that time chose not to choose it. I'm going to guess a couple of years ago, it was $120 per house per month.
It's recommended that aeration, this work, what you're discussing, be done in the spring, right after the lawns become active. So actually, March, maybe even April is absolutely the best time.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that March 8th deadline, and maybe I slightly misspoke earlier, because say that if you called in today, we wouldn't be out here on Friday aerating your turf. We are going to start after that deadline, just so that we can kind of know what we're dealing with, and whether or not we need to send one guy down or 3 guys down, or we all need to come down. So, yeah. So.
Yeah, and homeowners can figure out how much they have. Every site map, all right, tells you the impervious area, so you take the impervious, like mine's 10,000 square feet, and the impervious area.
Yeah.
Then I know how many square feet I have, and then from that I subtract like 3 feet on each side, because that's the planning. For putting this together, and I'd really like to thank you guys for your presentation.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody gets a better understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Neal's been passing out cards. Like I said, he's been doing this for a long time. Shoot him an email. He'll answer your questions. So, any other questions? I know you guys are new. You guys are all good?
Right now.
For the most part.
I have the card in case of.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.